Welcome back. This is what we got going on. This is the original plug from the G37, but since we're running the body of the Maxima, we have to transfer and build this plug onto here. What we are doing is, starting with the driver door, we're taking the wiring apart and figuring out which wire does what. Then we're just going to transfer the pins from this wiring into this pigtail. Check it out. Driver door of the Infiniti, driver door of the Maxima. We're starting with the Infiniti. We have spare plugs from a parts car, and we're figuring out which wire does what to be able to route this piece, if I can get it out of my pocket, to route this piece into the correct pins. Then we're going to take the Maxima apart, this is the driver's side, and route the pins in. Once we have that done, all we need to do is pull the pins from that piece onto this. It's a little tougher on the driver's side, it's a lot less space. But we're starting with the door. We're going to do all 4 doors, then we're going to move to the back. We have to route all of these wires in. This is for park sensors, taillights, and here's our Maxima taillights. So we're going to use the pigtail, the female pigtail from the Maxima, and wire in all of these wires. After we get that done, we have the front end to do. Headlights, horns, another headlight. It's good that we have the original G headlight because I'm going to pull this wiring harness and just build this into the Maxima harness. After that, we still have all this to do. All this up here, the sunroof, the visors, the rear lights, and the antenna. Now for the antenna, since the Maxima didn't have an antenna, we're going to end up putting in the G antenna. Cutting a hole and using this wire. We have all the wiring from the headliner, and we're going to wire it in. Then we still have everything on the package tray. We have the speaker, the sub speaker, and then the amplifier that goes on the back side. We have to wire all that in. After that, we have to tuck everything away and make sure everything fits right. Now we have both of the wirings taken out and stripped apart so we see all the veins, or more like nerves. We got to figure out every single switch, every single plug, to make sure that this wiring runs off of this base. The easy part is figuring out which wires do go to what, but the hard part is figuring out each individual wire, how it functions with each switch. Got all of them marked. All of the ones off of this marked. Now just time to solder them together. So this is what it looks like. This is for the door plug. All these wires are spare wires that I ended up rerouting and using the G37 wiring. Then I have all this that I have to reroute, which is the memory switch and the mirror adjustment. I'm rerouting them. Memory switch is going to go on the seat, mirror adjustment is going to be on the panel. So all these wires are going in a different place, so I'm left with this. And I wired in all of the wires through here with the G37 window switch, so all my windows run off of that. I still need to wire the keyless entry. So with the press of a button, it comes from the door handle. With this button, you can unlock and lock the car. I need to wire those 2 wires. Well, more like figure out where I'm going to put that switch, probably just on the panel. And then you need to wire this back into shape wherever it goes. Dome switch, latch, key. All a day's worth of work Alright, here we go for day 2. Time to do passenger door. Alright, so after a long days of work, we wired in this plug for the passenger side and finished off the door. So the door is this one. Door is completely wired in. It's in there, down there. I rewired everything. It even has the plug up for the switches on the door handle, and using the Infiniti switch. Then I wired up the rear door, that's the Maxima plug, and wired in to the Infiniti wiring harness. And here's the rear door switch. So this is also the Infiniti switch wired into the Maxima harness on the door, and Maxima switch coming out the body. Same thing with this side, wired in, and this door wired in and wired in. So I've skipped a lot of video because I don't want to repeat myself, but I did a whole lot of this. And a whole lot of this. And a ton of this. And now we're at this point. All the doors are wired up, all 4 doors. We have the headliner wired up and all these wires. All of our lights work. All of our windows work, our window switch. We have the tail lights working. And everything inside wired up. We decided not to do the antenna through the roof and just mount it to the bottom of the roof. It'll work either way. And then on all of my plugs, I ended up having to solder them because of my pins. They were different sizes and didn't fit. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button for me. Leave me a comment what you think about this whole project. It's been interesting for me, but I want to know your thoughts. I'm hoping you're subscribed already. If not, make sure to hit that subscribe button also. Share with your friends, especially with the ones that love projects and cars. And I'll see you in the next one. It is what it is.